Welcome to Clash Royale League Asia Season number 2, 2019. Wait, what's happening? Thought the groups, or the season starts next week. We have group nomination today. My name is G-Clap. With me on my side, Ending Life. How are you doing? We're going to get this thing going on. Group nomination for the first time.
Exactly. For the first time is exactly what I wanted to say. I'm so excited to actually be doing this for Clash Royale League Asia, and it's going to make things a lot hyper or more hype than last season. Not saying that it wasn't hype, but this season with the group nominations, with the choices and the psychologies behind the teams of how they choose the teams, how they get into their groups is going to be exciting to see.
Yeah, not exactly a team is making an entire group, and we have a lot of changes to go through the entire day. We will let you know with all the information. We do have it, but it will take some time, so be ready to listen and see what's going to happen. But it's not just like a random raffle. It used to be a random raffle for a lot of the teams, and then they just go into Group A and Group B. It's done just like that, but not anymore. Teams will actually get to select a team. You look like a weak team. You're in my group.
Oh, really?
You get to fight against me all the time.
And then,
oh, yes.
No. And then, however, if that happens, from what I know, I'm pretty sure we're going to explain it to you guys in detail a little bit later. But when you do choose me as a weak team, I think later on I get to choose one more team that I want to choose later on. So that's what makes it interesting.
Yes, we do have a lot to tell you how this is going to go. First, we do have the seeded teams on top.
Yep.
Opponents game with, they do split. And they will keep on going. But before we go into the group nomination, we're getting too excited.
Yeah.
Let's go over the overview. The actual season starts just like last season. It's going to be Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, 7 p.m. Korean Standard Time. Starting next week, very next week until October 13th. And playoff final, we go all the way into November. But in that middle, we do have some breaks in between because of holidays and issues with schedules.
Yeah, and you guys can see the participating teams and the regions. You guys may notice some team name changes, but overall, all in all the teams are pretty much the same, and the regions are the same as well. Let's hope that the results may be different from last season.
Yes, finals with 2 Japanese teams. That was another repeat from 2018. Season 2 might not be the same. Of course, we do have a lot of Japanese squads still being strong. This is how it's going to go for the group selection. It says group nomination, I would like to call it. Seeded teams from last season: Ponos, Game Wit, first, second, Chaos Theory, Brand Esport, third, Force. Of course, Ponos and Game Wit, starting from top left from 1, you will get to go and basically choose a team. Okay, this team, because I want that team in my group. I want to go against them. And this season, it's double round robin group.
Oh, yes.
Inside the group matches only. You do not get to fight against the other group at all throughout the season until you go into the playoffs. So picking a team is crucial. It is the most important thing that's going to happen today. And how the group is going to be combined, that's something else that Ending is going to explain to you guys.
Yeah. So, to start off, this group selection that you see on your screen is already complicating. But then after all the groups are selected, now we have the big group A and B selection as well coming up after we do this. And here we go. We do have the selection method. So we're going to have Ponos and Game With automatically split after all the individual teams are placed under the top 4 teams from the previous season. Then are we going to choose the group A's and B, and that's going to be through a raffle, and that's also going to be bringing some excitement.
Yeah, so easy example. Let's say I choose you.
Oh, yeah,
then
you choose me.
Yeah, then let's say I'm Ponos, and I choose A, and you're A.
Yeah.
And then you get to choose someone else.
Yeah.
And that team will be H.
Yeah.
And they will be in the same group. So think of it as columns here.
Exactly. So you guys will see it. It's better to see the raffles and better to see how it's done rather than us just breaking it down into words. So basically what we're trying to say is today, even though we don't have any games, it's still going to be as exciting to see how the groups change, because like you said, group double round robins. We don't have the mix of group A and B like last season. We're just going to have group A, just go at it, group B, go at it all the way to the playoffs. So today is so important.
Yes, and then after that moment, after the double round robin of Group A only, Group B only, we mix things up in the playoff, and then it is double elimination in the playoff. First, third from Group A, and second, fourth from Group B. They go into one bracket of double elimination. The other way goes to the other side of the thing, and then the top two teams come out from the two brackets. So it's going to be a very different format from what we had before, but I think it's a lot more fair in terms of what's going to happen, because last season when we actually broke into Group A and B, separate playoff, there were teams that had higher number from the other groups, other side of the things, but still didn't make it into playoff. I think this is a lot better of a format going through.
All right, so it seems like we have Mikamboya getting up from his seat and coach also coming out. So this is the start of our group selection.
Fuchi is up here. And of course, will be the one selecting the team. I'm going to guess that a lot of the same region teams are not going to pick their same region.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, the rosters, Korean teams do look the weakest out of all three regions. And I'm pretty sure Japanese teams might not just select the Japanese. Southeast Asia, maybe it's possible, but less likely compared to the other teams.
Yeah, but to be honest, I do agree with you saying, the same region may not pick the same region. However, from my personal experience from the previous seasons, that nation wasn't as strong. So we'll see if, maybe a Japanese team will pick up that nation.
Yep, and we're going to translate this to you guys throughout the show, asking Fuchi that what kind of strategy did you bring into picking a team? You're the first one up. Are you just going to pick the weakest team, or do you have anything else? Of course, for those of you who can understand Japanese, well,
yeah,
you don't need translations, but so there are lots of roster changes within the other teams, and I think it's going to be fun to play against those teams.
All right, so we have Talon, we have Kicks, and as we also have Sandbox, who had more than 2 player changes, roster changes. So
I think he's calling out for Talon.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Sandbox does have a few more, but Ice Law is a really scary opponent to go through. Talon does have a new roster. It takes some time to get that 2v2 teamwork. I think that's what he's aiming for here.
All right, so now the question is, Paunos has always been strong on the stage when they come to OGN. Do you think you'll be able to do that again this season?
And also, is there a specific team that you do not want to have in the group? Was the question. Because they get to choose one team. The other teams might just follow them. Because Ponos picks a team, and that team picks another team. And not just that, the team chosen by either Chaos or Bren might be in the same group. So they can only choose one. Other teams, they do not get to choose.
All right, so the answer was there's not a specific team right now because of the many roster changes as well. So, and we also play our best against any team, regardless of them being strong or weak. All right, so here we go.
30 seconds only. I'm pretty sure they made up their mind already, though. No one went before them.
Yeah, they have a lot of selections, so I'm pretty sure they've already talked this through. They knew that there was going to be a group selection.
And of course, they can't pick game with Chaos Theory Brand Esports. They're already up there by seed. So, Talon, I'm looking at a few Korean squads, and they seem okay, not too strong. Like OPGG still has Expo Master, who did not have the best showing last season, but I think he's coming back really strong this season. Can also focus so much. Mikamboya picked.
He has chosen Talon.
Yes.
All right, so we were assuming with the many player changes, the roster changes, it was possible for Talon to be chosen.
Yes, Fuchi has hinted us that with much of roster change, it was going to be Talon. Okay. So Talon will be going against Ponos at least twice. What was the reason behind choosing Talon? So I didn't really get to choose, but my teammates did, and I'm the one up on stage.
Yeah, he's basically the mannequin. He's the avatar.
Oh, Mikambuya, do you not get to express your opinion too much?
Now I feel bad.
뭐 어떤 팀이 되든 상관없다고 생각했기 때문에
네, 네.
괜찮습니다.
아,
For me, I don't really mind going against any other team. So for me, I'm really confident. Oh, his
Oh,
teammates
they're
are saying,
saying,
"Nah, that's fake."
유기아트 선수 마이크 들고 계시죠?
Oh my
네,
goodness.
유기아트에게
All right, so now the team that was chosen, Talon, for them representing Talon, we have Yu-Gi-Oh!
선수 제일 먼저 뽑혔습니다.
Oh,
지금 포노스하고
we have Yu-Gi-Oh!
하게 됐는데
From Talon.
기분이
He speaks
어떠신지?
fine English from USA. Let's see how he feels. Yep, you're picked by Ponos just now.
Excited.
매우 흥분됩니다.
Excited.
That's it.
Sorry, come again.
I was translating for you.
예, 예. 뭐
All right, so I guess he's just excited.
예, 오케이.
His
know-
hairs, they're certainly excited.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it's pretty wavy.
뽑은 포노스에게 한 말씀 합시다, 우리. 예.
How about
세게 한번.
there will be a
왜냐면
translation. I don't even have to
Yeah.
do this.
탈론 같은 경우에는 이렇게
We have automatic translation.
되는
맞아요.
거거든요.
네.
자, 뽑은 포노스에게 당당하게
Actually,
한 말씀
Talon does
부탁드립니다.
not get to choose.
Would you like to say a
Oh, they're the first, so they automatically.
Good luck.
아, 이건 우리도 다 알아들어. 네, 통역 안 해주셔도
네,
돼요. 그럼요.
기본 교과 과정을 끝냈기 때문에 이건
Yes, certainly Yu-Gi-Oh!
그러나
Doesn't seem too satisfied with too short of answers coming up from those questions.
Yeah, but it also feels like he's just here to enjoy this. He knew that, he doesn't have the choice to choose, so he's just gonna wait and be chosen and just take it into heart and, just play his best.
Yeah, they do have tattoos and Tochivach Tochilovach as the two new players, and Dylan also coming back from season 2 of 2018. So it's not a total new squad, but 2 new members.
Yugi, could you introduce
Exactly.
2 members of your team today?
Dylan and Tachi are 2 new members we added to our roster.
예, 딜런과 투치라는 선수가 저 이번에 로스터에 새로 추가가 된 선수들입니다.
네. 예, 저희는 알고 있죠. 그거는. 예,
How about tattoos?
어떤 선수들이
I think he might be nervous on stage. I don't think so. Usually,
한 말씀?
it's a
Yugi, could you explain more what kind of players they are and what capabilities they bring to Team Talon?
Automatic translation
Dylan's
feels
a
good.
Great player who used to be part of Kicks, and Tachi is another foreign player we picked up who is also great in 1v1.
네, 딜런 선수 매우 좋은 선수고
Yeah, Tachi is from Republic of Serbia. So
Yeah.
certainly a player that would not really have in our eyes too much, but we will get to see him starting very soon in next week. So it really seems like Yugi is just on stage trying to be the speaker.
I think he's basically the avatar, like Mikambuya. His team probably told him to go up. He's just up here. So we'll see what happens. We have to be honest, all the new players and all the returning players, we have to see them for ourselves to decide.
Yes, even if they were really excellent players before, if they didn't practice.
for season 2?
Goals for season 2.
Honestly, do better than last season, personally for me, and overall as a team as well.
개인적으로나 팀 차원적으로는 저번 시즌보다
Yes,
더 좋은
would love to be in the playoff first of all. I think
Yeah.
that's what they're really aiming for. And that's why they're usually with the teams that sticks to the top, they don't really have roster changes. The teams that cannot make it to the playoff, they make a lot of changes.
Yeah. All right, so the question was, OG, you're at OG and Ponos is always good. Do you think your third win at OGN in Clash Royale Asia will be able to do so.
네, 그리고 미칸보야 선수가 저번에 개인전 성적이 미칸보야 그 레임드에 비해서는 정말 좀 아쉬움이 커서
And they're aiming for the third championship once again.
Yep.
And
준비를 많이 하셨는지.
the second question is, Mikamboya, your results from your 1v1 last season was not so great actually. Did you make any changes or preparations, especially for the new season?
準備をたくさんしてきたんでしょうか。
はい、大丈夫です。
괜찮습니다.
That's okay.
질문 굉장히
Yeah.
길게 통역부
We had the super long question and the super short.
다이저부 desu.
Yes, 다이저부 desu.
I can understand that one. So,
So
not a real big problem. Okay, Ponos picking Talon. Talon will be going into Group A. So let's see what other teams will be following into that group. And right after, game with Coach Zeros
Yep.
and KK, the 1v1 master.
All right, this team is definitely another scary team to watch out for. Even though they were second last season, they, KK like you said, and even Rollaporan from what I remember, super strong 1v1s.
おはようございます。
Oh, he just said hi in Korean.
Hello.
한국어 조즈. 좋습니다.
연습해갖고 오셨네요.
아, 그러니까요.
아유, 예. 자,
Yeah, a lot of these players work in Korea for several months, even more than that now.
준우승을 해서 내내 좀 정말 아쉬움이 컸을 것 같은데, 예, 어땠습니까? 솔직히 지난 시즌 준우승. 그리고 나서 이제 팀원들끼리 많이 좀 가슴 아파했던 것 같은데 지금은 좀 괜찮습니까?
Well, last season you were not able to become the champion last season at the finals. Were you at all disappointed? And what else are you looking for into season? Right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah. We help each other out, but you were correct.
아, 일본 친구들이 말이 짧네요. 예, 답이 간단해요.
Oh, yes. Not at all.
일단
Yeah.
제로스
So
코치님,
no disappointment
질문 좀
from the results. Of course, like it was all Japanese
앞서서
finals.
보너스의
Second
이유를
place, I think it's still really good. They got to go to the WCG also. So it was a really big event.
Yeah, and as a region as a whole, I think it was just a great season for Japan last season.
メンバーの入れ替えが大きかったタロンを選ばれたんですけれども、ゲームウィズさんはどういう作戦で臨みたいと思われてるんですか？
はい、僕たちは、僕たちのチームと相性がいいかなと思ったチームを選ぼうと考えています。
저희는 저희 게임위드와 되게 궁합이 좋을 것 같은 그런 팀을 뽑고 싶습니다.
All right, so they also the question was, what kind of teams are you looking for to pick? Are you gonna pick a weak team, a strong team? And the answer was that they're actually going to pick a team that can provide excitement, that can provide a very fun game throughout the season. So they didn't exactly say we're gonna pick a weak team. So we'll see who they pick.
They lost in translation here. They said they want to pick a team that's going to create some chemistry in between game with and on next team.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that actually means.
Yeah.
If they want to have pick a really strong team or not, maybe even a Japanese squad on their own.
All right, well, the countdown begins, and we'll see who they pick because, like you said, lost in translation. Usually it's like, we'll try to pick someone that, that is weak, or maybe at least in their mind that's what they're thinking, but we'll have to see because
I'm sure they had their number one, number twos. So it could have been talent if they really wanted. Oh, that's OP. 2, 1. Time's out. Wait, who was on top?
Wait,
that's not OP. OP was at the bottom.
Yeah.
And that's
Sandbox.
Sandbox
Alright.
actually has lots of changes. Connie, who was up in the coach role because he had to go. He had to be a coach while he was in school.
Yep.
He's actually back as a player now.
Yeah, so the coach is back here.
ボックスとは過去に何回もやり合ってて、前回のシーズン1でも勝たせていただいているので、今回も勝てるだろうということで選びました。
샌드박스랑은 전에도 몇 번이나 그 시합을 했었고
네.
그리고 시즌 1 때도 저희가 이긴 경험이 있기 때문에
So why did you choose Sandbox? And the reason that we chose Sandbox is, you know, we've played against them a lot, many times, and in the previous season when we played against them, we were able to beat them over and over. So, you know, they feel confident to go up against Sandbox.
So I'll translate that one more time. He said, "Sandbox seems like a weak team, and
That's English.
we want to go against them twice."
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, Sato says that was
Ooh.
I was expecting this peak.
저번 시즌 같은 경우 꼴찌를 했기 때문에
Yeah, because last season we were at the bottom, and this was very expected result. Yeah, getting picked by game win.
지금 저 약간 무서우려 그러거든요.
사도 선수가 그 게임에 들어가면 맨날 있을 정도로 최근에 영습을 정말
Alright,
엄청
well,
많이 하더라고요.
Now, basically, like G-Clef translated my translation into English, right?
실제는 아직까지는 모르겠지만
What KK has done is basically provoke Sandbox, and we'll see if Sandbox will be able to bring them a fight.
Yeah, it's going to be because Sandbox. We've seen Connie from WCG qualifiers. Connie did not show the greatest games,
Yeah.
and I would be honest, it seemed like he was really out of shape.
Yeah.
But it's been about 3 months since that WCG qualifiers of APAC. As a coach, back to player, maybe it's a better.
우승이기 때문에 어느 팀이 뽑혀도 상관없다고 생각합니다.
Alright, so basically, they're asking about how he feels about being picked and how you felt when you did bad last season, and he's just saying, all right, this season what we have prepared is to win the season. So at least there's that confidence coming out from Sandbox.
저희가 그렇게 생각할 수 있는
And
이유?
also says they have lots of changes. What are the reasons?
대회 실전 연습을 많이 했고 이번에 이제 그 실전 연습을 토대로 그 긴장이나 그런 걸 많이 떨쳐낼 수 있을 것 같아서
스크림 때 그러면 굉장히 좋았나요? 성적이 스크림 성적이 연습 성적?
스크림 때 성적이 그리 좋지는 않았지만 그거는 언제까지나 연습 경기라고 생각하기 때문에 실전은 다르다고 생각합니다.
사도가 말을 잘하는군요.
All right, so they're talking about how was your scrims, or how are you so confident, and Sato was just saying that what our team thinks is, regardless of how good or bad you do during scrims, that's just a scrim. When you come off into the offline tournament to the live stage, that's all different.
우승까지 이끌어줄 신인이라고 생각합니다.
Yeah. Sato believes that Islaw is a new one in our team who's capable of leading the team, carrying the entire team.
이번 시즌 꼭 우승해서 지난 시즌에 치욕을
울지 말고
치욕을
벗어 던지겠습니다.
알겠습니다. 여러분 박수 한번 주세요.
Yep. Sato. Yeah, last season.
Oh my goodness.
Ito's
my
putting his head down. Last season we had a really poor result. This season we'll try our best to get rid of all that shame, dishonor.
KK 선수. 게이미드가 사실 항상 준우승에 머물러서 내내 좀
And
아쉬움이
we're
있었을 것 같아요.
back to
특별히 이번
KK.
시즌에 다른 훈련, 뭔가 우승을 하기
And
위한 뭔가 다른 준비를
Caster Jung just asking if there was anything special in the middle of preparation for the new season. There has been some time for them to prepare.
Yeah.
毎日秘密特訓をずっと続けてきました。
매일매일 비밀 특훈을 계속했어요.
Oh, KK has been doing some secret recipe training.
Ooh, now I'm
I don't
getting
know what that
curious.
is.
Yeah, I'm getting curious now.
Because KK doesn't need training.
That is true.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
That is true.
블라썸 선수를 자주 기용할 생각이 있는지.
블라썸選手を
Are you guys gonna be using more of Blossom into your live games?
それは秘密で。
비밀입니다.
예.
That's also a secret.
사실 저하고 SNS
Man of secrets here.
Wow.
KK.
Mystery man.
Blossom.
예, 만나니까 다시 반갑고요. 어쨌든 예,
I mean, Blossom only played very few amount of games.
Yeah.
Even though he was in the roster, was on the bench for many days.
Yeah.
And because KK roll up on,
경기를 이겨서 우승하겠습니다.
yeah, because KK roll up on, they were the 1v1, and Blossom didn't really fit into 2v2.
And the last word was, we'll beat everybody and win.
자, 지금
And I could understand that coming from GameWith and KK because they were always just getting second. And they definitely want to win, so maybe this season is their season. We'll have to see.
Yeah, game with Panos, same roster, same strength, maybe even stronger. In terms of what they can actually do. The big change this season, I will say this as it was announced by a lot of social media.
Yep.
No bans for set 2 and set 3. So only ban card will be allowed for our 2v2 matches now.
Yeah, that is going to be huge. But finally, we have Benzer coming through here for that pick. Third pick, actually.
We have Benzer
Say hello to your fans here today.
up on stage finally. And we have Rosessa, the coach.
Yep.
Cool fashion.
Hello everybody. 예, 모두 만나서 반갑습니다.
예, 지금 통역분이 헷갈리셨어요? 네, 지금 통역을 여러
That's what he said. Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be back. I'm the Hog Master, the Cycle Master. I make miracles. That's Benzer.
Yes, it is.
보여줬음에도 불구하고 시즌 마지막으로 갈수록 뭐랄까요? 압박, 그래서 부담감 이런 것들을 너무 크게 느꼈던 것 같은데 이번 시즌에는
So they also do have the roster change.
Yep.
Bringing back Carolus into the
Benzer
roster.
had great games last season, but towards the end of the season, it seemed that he had felt kind of pressure towards the end. How would he prepare for that this season?
Jadi Benzer punya musim yang luar biasa musim lalu.
So we have what we call translation ping pong into language after language after language.
Musim ini seperti apa?
Yeah, so basically, that's not a coach. Well, that's basically just, well, a translation into a translation. So we have to wait double.
Hard work, do better every day, every game.
So now we have the coach plus the language
He will
expert.
do the best for himself and for the team and for the nation.
Yeah, of course. It was really tough. And for the roster, it makes sense. Benzer does come out for 1v1 most of the time, if not all the time. Trainer Dexter's JTBD are the duo for the team. So let's see how they rotate their roster. Only 4-man team. And oftentimes we do have 5 members for many other teams.
Exactly. So we've seen a lot of the 4-player or 4-man teams do pretty well. So we'll see if Chaos Theory will do good enough or better than last season.
From the teams that were chosen by Panos and Game with, were there any teams that Chaos Theory wanted to choose yourself?
Okay, sorry. From ourselves. Okay. Actually, we would like to choose talent. Yeah. Why?
All
Because,
right. So
we know that Yu-Gi Art was a part of Chaos Theory, and we hope that we know what meta that Yu-Gi Art pick out of it. But well, let's see.
Okay, so by having some information, I think it was the key. Yes, Talon. It seems like Talon is going to be the not sandbox, sandbag for today, as every other team wanted a piece of Talon.
yeah,
But that's also risky, I would also say. Also something that you can't really tell yet. They do have 2 new members.
exactly. That's a huge risk. So, but however, Talon was already chosen. So now, as the 3rd pick, we'll see who or what team Chaos Theory decides to choose, and they've all come prepared.
Secret notes.
A lot of secrets going on today.
Talon Sandbox already picked, so the team that Chaos Theory picks will be following them into Group A or B. So that's what we're talking about, how this is going to go. What we are saying is Team C, basically. So look at it as a column, guys, below 3.
Detonation.
Which I thought is still a really strong team.
Yep.
But out of the Japanese region, I think Bob might be just a little stronger compared to Detonation.
Alasan mengapa saya dan tim saya memilih Detonation karena itu adalah
Let's hear what Benzer has to
What
say.
he said.
It's our decision. Yeah.
All right. So
Okay,
Benzer
yes,
said something long.
yes. Benzer, yeah,
Yeah.
well,
That is what he meant.
Alasannya lebih dari keputusan bersama.
Yeah, we do want to hear the reason.
Exactly.
Why? Why did you pick? Why did you pick Detonation?
거기에 관여를 하시지 않았을까요? 예, 코치님이 대답해 주셔도 괜찮고. 예.
Alright, I'm curious.
Karena di dalam tim Detonation juga ada pemain baru dan saya ingin sekali melawan dia.
Okay, so Detonation have new players and he would like to play against him.
Oh, I think I know exactly what he.
그 멤버들과 한번 경기를 해보고 싶습니다.
Yeah, because we have Benzer here, I think he's talking about 1v1 specifically. As Detonation, when they play 1v1s, they all have their style and characters, so it's easier to read what kind of decks they're going to prepare from Detonation. I think that's what he's thinking, just adding my understanding of the team from Detonation and their style. And as I'm pretty sure Benzer's going to have a lot more results on games from them. So that's a great pick, I would say.
Yeah. All right, so now they just want the coach, to be honest.
Is it true that Kelsey chose Detonation game because it would be an easier opponent than other teams?
For Detonation?
아니 코치님께서 직접.
코치님께서
예.
ini bakal jadi lawannya lebih mudah nggak menurut kamu untuk Detonation?
They're putting him on the spot.
Yeah, that was a question to. That was a question for Rosessar.
갈 때마다 얘가 달라지는 것들이 있는데 약간 그런 스타일이긴 해요 지금. 네.
So it's not easy to play against everyone, but we choose Detonation because as last reason we will fight and we will play against new players on this team.
Yeah, it's a hard system.
It is.
As Detonation is picked by Chaos Theory here.
솔직하게 말씀드리자면은 새로운 선수와
And like we said, it is a little bit different from season 2. The way that this season 1, sorry. Season 2 is going to be played out a little bit differently with the double round robin. So I'm pretty sure they all have their own plans.
피라메키 선수에게 마이크를 좀 전달해 주시기 바랍니다.
Yes, we do want to talk to Detonation here too. And we have Pirameki from Detonation.
좀 만족하시나요? 아니면 좀 이 팀이랑은 안 붙고 싶었는데 혹시 붙게 돼서 좀 속상하신가요?
Are you at all okay or satisfied with the pick from the Chaos Theory? Or the other way, not too happy about the decision?
ケイオスセオリーはベンザー選手が本当大エースで 1v1 は圧倒的に強いんですけど、そこを崩せれば順調に進めると思うので、その 1v1 が鍵となると思うので、そこだけしっかり警戒していきたいと思います。
벤저 선수가 원탑 에이스라고 생각을 하는데 하지만 그런 걸 다 감안해가지고 열심히 임하고 싶습니다.
그래요.
질문이 하나가 있는데.
Do you think Benzer's 1v1 is certainly a superstar in the team, but we will give our best.
들어봤으면 좋겠어요. 조코 선수 어떤 선수인지요?
So what kind of player is Joker, the one new addition to your team?
Yeah, his ID is Joker.
Yeah.
ジョーカー選手はシングルに飛んだ選手だと思ってまして、主に得意デッキも確立してますし、そこから幅も広げていけば、今回バンなしのルールなので、結構1v1 で生きてくる選手かなというふうに思います。
조커 선수는 싱글에 굉장히 강한 선수이기 때문에 이번에도 굉장히 기대를 해볼 만합니다.
Yeah, Joker's really strong on 1v1. That's why he said single. Shuto Naka, of course from Japan. Yes. He was also really strong in the Japanese tournament that just happened a few weeks ago. Yes. Maybe we'll get to see his favorite deck. He does have his favorite decks. Not gonna say it today. We'll reveal it in just a week. I think they have a week. They have their match the second day. Depending on how this group selection actually goes, I might be wrong on that.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. And they're also joking about how Joker was able to beat Connie from Sandbox 5-4 recently. So they're kind of making jokes with him.
今シーズンは監督も新加入の選手も入れ替わって でだいぶ力も入れているので、今シーズンは本当にいけるところまで行こうと思います。
이번에는 코치님도 그리고 새로운 멤버도 영입이 되기 때문에
We do have the new coach and also a new player.
있는 데까지 가보고 싶습니다.
알겠습니다.
And so we do want to go as far as we can. Yeah, Coach Lewis will be certainly helping. And Joker, if he can actually bring up some results in that 1v1, I think that's certainly a great addition to the team.
또는 킹오브더에서 약간씩 흔들리는 모습들을 보였는데 요걸 이번 시즌은 좀 보완할 수 있을까요? 보완하셨을까요?
Everybody knows that Benzer is very good at 1v1 games. But last season, in 2v2 games and King of the Hill games, did you prepare any special strategy or training to better these two areas of the game?
Semua orang tahu bahwa satu lawan satu kamu sangat luar
Yes,
biasa.
because they were really strong in 1v1, but not as much in 2v2 and King of the Hill.
Apakah ada strategi atau latihan?
So that was
They can't really make too many changes. Carlos came back.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah. And JTV and Dexter, they're probably going to be together again for the 2v2. So
I mean, the strategy and the deck choices can certainly be different.
you also have to remember, set 2 and set 3, there's no more bans. That's the 1v1 and the King of the Hill part. So that might just open up more ways.
Dan bahasanya sudah pasti mengerti dan pasti akan lebih baik dari sebelumnya.
So actually, the weakest of 2v2 and King of the Hill was one player from outset, which is from Indonesia, and then now we have 4 players. We have Carolus, he's back with us, and then there is no language barrier. So we hope that with no language barrier, we do our best and we make Indonesia and Southeast Asia proud.
Oh yeah, is gone from the team. So certainly maybe things can be better in a way. Yeah, Benzer really went honest about the answer here.
Yeah.
The language, culture can be a thing when you're trying to have everything together as a team. I think this is a very honest answer from Benzer. I'm really thankful for that.
다시 들어왔죠. 예. 자,
Exactly, and with Carolus coming back, we'll see how strong the team at Chaos Theory has become. But yeah, that was it, and I think we have Brand Esports now for that choice.
이중 통역까지 진행이 되다 보니까 좀 시간 관계상 좀 빠르게 진행하고 있는 점.
Things can be hectic. We have a lot of translations to do from between the team. And let's go with the 4th seed. Come out, Brand Esports. You guys are up on stage now.
Yep, we have Manong GP, someone that you guys are familiar with, as well as Coach Don.
Yeah, we have Dante. I'm pretty sure they made up their decision already too.
Can you show us one of your ceremonies from last season to your fans?
이래야 브랜 느낌 나요. 냄새가 브랜이었네요.
As after the final day, No Aim Sai did announce that he will retire, maybe come back later.
What would be your biggest regret from
And also Toby Spirit Hawk no longer in the team.
Yeah, a lot of changes being made here and there.
아, 여기도 이중 통역이군요. 예.
All these coaches, they're very good in English, and they're all bilingual or trilingual.
아, 죄송해요. 제가 너무 어려운
Maybe, maybe not. Because I can't tell the other side.
Yeah.
I can't tell how much is lost during the translation, but I'm pretty sure all the meanings are going through at least.
I think the problem is our roster every match because we are confusing what player will use on that day. I mean, we are confusing to our roster. I mean, our roster was not picked.
So either he means that
사실 저희가 로스터를 결정하는 데서 많은 혼선이 있어가지고
yeah, either he means that it's confusing themselves or confusing the other teams. I think it's more of confusing themselves by changing up the active roster for the day too many times. Yeah, they're known as a really strong 2v2 team anyhow.
Coach, it's to you. Questions to you. Is there a team that you wanted to choose that's already been chosen, or is that team still not chosen yet?
The team is still not chosen.
Ooh.
We are thinking about 2 teams. If OP or
Oh gosh.
Fab team. That's it.
예, 저희가 뽑고 싶은 팀은 아직 다행히도
Oh,
뽑히지 않았고요.
okay.
그 팀들은
He just-
OP와 파브 게이밍.
Oh, we'll see. Because this might be a bait.
Yeah.
This might be a bait, and might just pick something like Dragon X or something like that.
You never know.
Yes.
예, 예.
So
자, 파브 얘기 나오자마자
it's certainly okay. Expo Master and Ken's message just talking in between. They're the same.
Like, you or me? Who's gonna take him on?
약간 뭔가 떡밥을 지금 던지셨어요.
Hmm.
But yeah, like you said, G-Club, you never know. This might just be a bait, but no, I think they're gonna choose one or the other.
상의 시간 드리고 선택하실 수 있도록
30 seconds.
상의 시작해 주십시오.
And we go Snake. So the team that gets chosen right now will get to choose their own team right after.
Yeah.
So let's just see. There are still too many teams left here. Still
We'll do rock, paper, scissors.
three more teams from Korea. So Dante, which team
Yeah.
did you have in your mind? So they literally had two teams in their mind, and they just chose one for rock paper scissors.
Oh, he knows how to choose. Five.
Okay, this means that at least the Japanese teams from the region will be split 2-2 between Group A and B.
Okay.
다시 질문할까요? 파브를 선택하신 거는 만홍지피의 선택인지 아니면 브랜 팀의 선택인지 궁금합니다.
That's a fun matchup there.
choosing
that is.
Fab Gaming, is it Manong's choice or it's the team's choice?
It's a team choice.
팀의 결정입니다.
Yeah, of course it's a team choice.
Why did you do rock scissors?
That's what I was curious about. Why did they do rock paper scissors?
OPGG or
Oh.
I told you.
You're
I
smart.
told you. That's the only reason why you have to do rock paper scissors.
So
They
they
both
wanted-
are about
yeah.
the same. What they think is both are about the same strengths. Okay. Let's.
If you win, we'll choose OP. If
Yeah.
I win, we'll choose Fav. And I guess
Questions to
the
Mano.
result.
Is there a reason why you chose Fab Gaming?
Because of rock paper scissors.
We have an advantage if we face Pub Gaming.
Yeah, we have an advantage against Fav Gaming, is what I heard.
I think they have
And I guess in a way, being Bren Esports and being at least still the 4th place team from season 1, they feel confident against most of these teams.
That's certainly true. Bob also has no changes in the roster. I think
Nope.
Kensumeshi provided some good 2v2, and Jack also weak during the early season 1, but later part after having his great haircut, I think he really he found his strength.
Yeah.
Especially not just with the hog decks, but quick cycle decks came along for Jack. And also Kita-shan coming out from time to time.
The question to the coach. Is there any special strategy or planning you've done to prepare for this season?
for this season, we are more focused in our lineup, and we're going to make more practice.
It seems like they really. Well, it's a team all from Philippines. So last season, I thought they were pretty fine with the active roster.
But you know, Noam, Sai, and Toby leaving, they, of course, losing 2 players out of 5, they needed to choose at least one. So with this new addition, Poo-Poo, we'll see if this roster could be stronger, because this team, Bren Esports, is also another 4-man team.
Can you explain to your fans? You have a new addition to the team. Could you explain about their player?
Our new player is strong, and he's from last year's season.
Yeah, he's
He came
Chief Glenn.
from last
Yep.
year's season.
From Bren Esports, so he just took a season off and came back.
With a different name.
Yeah, who is now Poo-Poo. Played a lot of 2v2. Not too much in 1v1 at all. Some in King of the Hills, as I remember from 2018. Not as much as the other members,
Yeah.
but he did participate a lot more than Blossom did.
That is true. So we'll have to see if he didn't lose any of his form.
And your determination.
To
예, 아무래도 이런 조지 명식이 익숙하지가 않아요.
네.
선수들도 그렇고 코치님도 그렇고 그래서 반상회를
to prove
하시는 것
to
같아요.
everyone that we are going to to we are going to World Finals this season. Yeah, and we're going to practice really hard.
Yeah, all the teams really.
Mhm.
All the teams really looking to go into the finals and become the champion. That's what they should be aiming for. Every single team. If they are not, I don't know too much about that because I think all teams have potentials to. It's a long season, and over the season you can get all the numbers to go into the playoff and maybe make it into the finals. Talon was picked as the first team to be the weakest, but might be a different story at the end of the season.
Yeah, Talon, just because of the huge roster change, they were picked first, but that's a huge risk to take. So we'll see how Talon will come back by basically being chosen first. But now you can see Kensu Meshi. We're gonna see Five Gaming choosing our next team. So now this is basically like a snake. Now we're done. We're gonna go back. Five gonna choose Detonation and then Sandbox.
That's how this is going to go. The teams that Ponos, Talon, and one extra with Talon, they stick together. Game with Sandbox and one more that Sandbox chooses, they stay together. Group A and that's Group A and B.
選ばれましたんですけれども、どういう心境ですかね。
前回シーズン1ですねは、勝ってますし、最後自分が
And it works exactly the same for the teams that were chosen from Chaos or Bren.
Yep.
良かったんじゃないかなと思ってます。
저번 시즌 1에서 저희가 이겼고 마지막까지 뭐 뽑아주셔서 감사합니다.
Yeah, we beat Bren Esports until the end last season, and I'm really thankful that they actually chose us.
All right, so Provoked going back and forth.
혹시 다른 팀과 만나고 싶었던 팀이 있습니까? 아니면 그냥 브레인 e스포츠 괜찮습니까?
All right, so are you satisfied with being picked or by being picked by Bren Esports, or was there another team that you wanted to pick or be picked by?
ブレンで良かったです。はい。ちょっと前のシーズン素敵なエモーションプレゼントされたので勝利のエモーション届けたいと思います。
The coach.
전 시즌에서도 저희가 브레인한테 만족한 결과를 얻었기 때문에 이번에도 브레인이 뽑아주셔서 굉장히 감사하다고 생각합니다.
그러니까 브레인 다른 팀보다도 오히려 브레인이 우리를
Even in the last season,
만족스럽다 이런 얘기네요.
they picked. We had satisfying moment last season against them, so we're actually totally fine. Yeah, with the pick.
실력 발휘가 안 됐는데 이제 뱅 카드가 없다면은 원하는 데가 다 쓸 수 있기 때문에.
So either way,
파브 게이밍 또 높이 올라갈 수 있죠.
Five, they're just happy by being picked by Bren.
자, 그러면
And I'm pretty sure they have a team in their mind to pick. There are 4 teams left, and not too many here. Bren's gone, Talon. There's Kicks.
We have Dragon X, OP, Kicks, and one more. Who's
OGN?
OGN. Yep.
Yes, 3 Korean teams
강팀이라고 생각되는 팀을 뽑으신
and
거죠.
1 Southeast Asia.
I thought at least a couple of Korean teams will be chosen first, but only Sandbox.
Still too early to tell, I think. Dragon X is still. I think they really show.
팀이 다 강하다고 생각이 들기 때문에 싸워서 가장 즐거울 것 같은 그런 상대를 뽑고자 합니다.
I think Dragon X really showed their play with Alpha in July.
Yep.
And also TrueFast, who's still staying in the roster.
Can't forget about Lion, who performed very well at the end of season 1. Showed us some surprising decks as well.
네, 이기는 편이 즐겁기 때문에 맞습니다.
So the team they're really looking for is that because they have all the strong teams left, they want to pick a team that they can have the most fun with, which means winning. Winning's always better, always much more enjoyable all the time.
Yeah, when they said they're gonna choose a team that they can have fun with, I was like, oh, okay, that's a little bit different. But at the end, they added because winning is fun, which means they're gonna try to choose a team that they obviously could beat. Because when you win, it is fun. So Kensumeshi, there's only 4 more choices left. Who is he gonna choose?
Yeah, for the 1B, they really have to think about 1v1s with no ban cards now.
Yeah.
If they have really strong 1v1 players for each team, I think Expo Master, yes. OG and Entus, also
TNT,
Victor,
yeah.
TNT, they're still really strong. So I think that's the reason why they're possibly thinking about Kicks and a few more. Which team is it?
Ooh.
Okay.
All right, so they've chosen OPGG Sports.
Yeah, from the 1v1, I would agree with the decision. I like it. Expo Master was not the strongest opponent last season. Maybe different story. I think that's exactly what Kenzumeshi is talking about.
もっとバチバチ結果が左右するときに戦ってみたいなと思いました。
That's all out to translate.
엑스보 마스터選手.
저번 시즌에 저희가 이겼긴 했는데 엑스보 마스터 선수랑 한번 싸워보고 싶어서 제대로.
Yeah, we did beat the team last season, but we wanted to go against Expo Master especially. So that's why we picked them.
그러면 켄츠메시의 선택인가요? 아니면 팀원들과 함께 고민한 결과인가요?
So was this a team choice or was it just chosen mostly by you?
そうチームみんな多分どこでもいいって言うと思うんで、まあ自分の意見を通しました。はい。
There are lots of players.
어느 팀도 다 괜찮다고 생각했기 때문에 제 의견을 조금 강하게.
Well, teams mostly say they were okay with any teams, so it was more of my opinion and decision up on stage. That's what Kenzumeshi is saying right now. And it seems like they're okay, they're fine.
So now, as we said before, Ponos and Game With, they're gonna be Ponos is gonna be either A or B, and then Game With is gonna be the opposite. So when you see that, do you want to be on the line of Ponos or do you want to be on the line of Game With?
So he said 2. That's a Game With Sandbox.
Okay.
So if they go in, that will be Game With Sandbox, Brand Esports, Fob, OPGG, and one more team chosen by Sandbox.
타론가強くてゲームウィズとサンドボックスが少し弱いからでしょうか。
いや違います。ゲームウィズにまあシーズン1の時に惜しくも負けてしまったので、まずはその借りを返したいなっていう気持ちが割と強いです。
그런 건 아니고요. 게임이드한테 저번에 졌기 때문에 이번엔 좀 이어보고 싶어서.
So last season we did lose against Game With, and we would like to take our revenge. It's also a great decision. Double round robin, not only once, you get to take the revenge twice. You might win, you might lose twice. That's also a thing. That's why you're always looking for some weaker teams to go against to have you in your group. So you get more wins, more match wins, which means that you go to playoff and maybe become the champion.
今回のシーズンでは感動の涙を私たちが見ることができるのでしょうか。
はい、もちろん見れると思います。
물론입니다.
It's another season, and another season of Clash Royale. At the end, do you think you can actually go into the playoff and become the champion, be in the finals? Yes, of course.
All right, Expo Master is back here. So now we're gonna interview him of how he feels of being picked by Fob Gaming.
안녕하세요. 네, 지금 이제 시원하시겠어요? 네. 예, 다행이에요.
Expo Master
파브가 OPGG를 선택한
had to go run for a toilet break for a second.
이유를 못 들으셨죠?
들었습니다.
아, 들었어요. 엑스보 마스터.
It was just chosen by Fob Gaming.
그러는데 거기에 대해서 어떻게 생각하십니까?
So they said they chose you or OP because they wanted to face up against you. How do you feel about that? And he thinks it's going to be exciting and fun.
또 이름에 비해서는 또 성적이 또 안 좋았거든요.
And
첫 시즌 우승도 했기 때문에.
Expo Master, I mean, you're one of the strongest players, certainly from Korea. Yeah, last year especially, but this year not so much. In the previous season, are you going to show up as 1v1 a lot more or 2v2?
제가 전 시즌에 비해서 좀 더 대회에 집중할 수 있으니까
Now that I can focus a lot more on the tournament, on the season, I think it's possible for us to become the champions, win again.
집중할 수 있었다. 그럼 지난 시즌에는 사실
But it's a secret that I'll be in 1v1 or 2v2.
보여주겠다 이런가요? 많은 한국 팬 여러분들이 그래 지난 시즌에 야 엑스보 마스터가 이제는 좀 실력이 떨어진 게 아니냐 이렇게 우려들을 많이 하셨단 말이에요. 어떻게 그 우려에 대해서 한 말씀 하신다면?
So a lot of fans were worried about how, you know, Expo Master didn't play as, you know, well as he should play. And they were worried, are you ready to, you know, come back as the original Expo Master and play well this season? And he said that he was a little bit busy with schooling, to be honest, and right now in this season, he said that he can definitely focus a lot more compared to season 1.
And you have to go against Bren?
시즌 2019년 시즌 1 때 만났던 선수들 모두 다 복수하는 거였는데 지금 잘 된 것 같습니다.
And Bren, you'll be stuck to the team in your group because you just go with them into a group. And Expo Master is actually okay with that because do want to take revenge from the previous season anyhow. He's actually happy about what happened so far.
잭 선수
And Jack
그리고 벤저
from
선수.
Fob,
왜 이렇게 많아요?
Benzer from Chaos.
그리고 미칸보야 선수.
Mikamboya from Ponos.
Oh no. So basically, he's naming the players that beat him.
요 정도, 요 정도. 알겠어요. 자, 요 정도 꺾어버리겠다.
So at least those names that you just heard G-Clef say are the targets of Expo Master this season.
저를 좀 바라봐 주시고요. 예,
And
아직 인터뷰가 안 끝났어요.
서스르게 얘기하느라 바빠요 지금.
as all the teams are being chosen, all the players are talking amongst themselves.
Yeah.
좀더 강력한 모습을 보여줄까요? 지금 따봉 TV도 있고 훈이도 있고 뭐 애셔도 있고 이런데 어떻게
As
실력들이 더
OPGG
상승했습니까? 저희
do have
기대해도
the same
됩니까?
roster basically from last season. No changes.
처음보다 훨씬 더 잘해진 것 같고 저도 지금이 가장 잘한다 생각하기 때문에 우승까지 노려보겠습니다.
알겠습니다. 네, 자 OPGG의 엑스보 마스터.
So, you know, your roster hasn't changed. How, you know, you all have the same players, Dabong, Huni, and Asher. How strong or how well do you think you're going to do this season? And he is saying that no, we have all improved as a team and as individual players. We are going to go for that finals and go for that win.
It's a roster that you can focus. 4-man roster. If you really put in some work, in terms of teamwork, it has to be built within a month, I would say. Because Uicha moved up to a coaching role, maybe that's going to help overall in how they're going to perform as a team, especially for, I think they suffered a lot more on 2v2, not just 1v1 from the previous season. Maybe OPGG Sports, they will step up a little more with the set roster now. Now, it's time for Detonation to pick a team. Only 3 teams left. Dragon X, OG and Entus, and Kicks.
We're only going to be seeing 2 more picks because, you know, after 2 more picks, the last team that's left will automatically go in, under or into the line of Ponos and Talon.
Now Detonation, as Lewis is going to be the coach for the team.
짧게 말씀을 좀 나누도록 하죠. 일단 피라미키 선수하고는 앞서서 얘기를 좀 나눴고 루이스 코치가 지난 시즌은 선수로 활약하다가 이번 시즌에 이제 코치로 역할을 바꿨는데 특별히 그랬던 이유를 좀 물어보고 싶습니다.
So you guys know that Lewis was the player last season, but now he's the coach. So is there a specific reason why you went from player to coach?
今の気持ちを一言お願いします。
そうですね。監督に専念するということで、
2v2 was fine. And King of the Hill was okay.
일단 코치의 전념을 하게 되기 때문에 선수들이 그 자기 실력을 충분히 발휘할 수 있는 환경을 만들어 드리고 싶습니다.
He wants to make an environment where all the players can show their skills on stage 100% as a coach. Maybe it's the right decision.
게 있는지 전 시즌과 뭔가 바뀌지 않으면 성적은 올라갈 수가 없거든요. 전 시즌에 아쉬운 성적을 올릴 수 있을 만한 뭔가의 변화가 있는지 이제 궁금합니다.
Alright, so last season, to be honest, as a team, you know, your record wasn't that great, to be honest. And if there's no changes or any preparation wasn't made, he, Caster O thinks that it's gonna be pretty much the same this season as well. So please tell us if there were any changes made.
僕たちの選手にとって、かなり追い風となるルールだと思っているので、今回ねしっかり、優勝を目指して頑張りたいと思います。
네, 이번에 저희가 코치로 또 바뀌기도 했고 조커 선수가 또 영입되기도 했기
So now the new coach, and also we do have Joker, the new player in the team in the roster. And I think we have a lot more advantage, not just by having him, but as a team overall. So I think aiming for a championship spot is a doable work for us.
되게 늠름해 보이고 요거 카메라를 한번 비춰줬어야 되는데 아이고 늠름해 보인다.
멋있어 보였어. 그렇죠.
예. 루이스가 방송을 알아요.
Yeah, this is something that the Detonation do need to work on. I think Caster hit the spot.
Yeah.
As they were staying together for a long time, but no real big changes in terms of roster or their play style too much.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they just, they just have to practice a lot more in different ways, up against different players, and just get their skills up. That's all. That's what they need. Yeah. So Dragon X, Kicks, and Ogen Entis are the only 3 teams left that they have a choice from. So here we go.
This one is actually tough. Very, very tough in terms of decision. I would pick OGN. I think it's hard regardless.
Dragon X.
Ooh. That was a tough decision.
Yeah.
All 3 teams, they have lots of players from other countries too, as a 1v1 specialist.
3択ということで、かなり迷ったんですけど、30秒の中で正直ルイス監督と意見が割れていて、で30秒しかないというところでどうしようかっていう風に迷ったんですけど、
Wonder what he's got. Only few teams that I could choose from.
Are you understanding?
And I'm pretty sure it was the best decision.
고민을 했는데 30초라는 시간이 굉장히 짧았기도 했고 고민을 하다가 일단 코치님의 결정에 따랐습니다.
아 그래요?
30 seconds was actually pretty short of a time to make a decision, and we just followed Lewis, the coach.
그러면 혹시
Decision here.
뽑고 싶은 팀이 혹시 있었을까요?
Was there a team that you actually wanted to choose if everybody was still on the table?
この3択の中でですかね.
만약에 모든 팀이 다 있었다면 그 중에 선택하고 싶은 팀이
Yeah,
있었습니까?
like all the teams, maybe even Pono's game with Chaos Theory.
Yeah.
っていう風なチームがありましたでしょうか?
He's laughing. He has one. He has one.
Talon? I think he's looking at Talon. He's looking to the left side of the board. Not towards the right, certainly.
He's laughing.
3択の中でなら言いますけど、全チームだとちょっと言えませんね.
셋 중에 남아있는 셋 중에를 물어보시면 대답을 할 수 있는데
So he can answer if you're asking from the 3 that was left over, but from all the teams, he wants to keep it, to himself. Manners.
Yes. Yeah, Pierre Mekki would like to keep his respect to the other teams. There are not too many things are left in the group nomination. Are you satisfied with what happened so far? At least he stuck with Dragon X and Chaos Theory. Don't know if they will be going into Ponos group or game with.
선수들이 한 명씩은 꼭 있기 때문에 그 싱글 게임 1대1에서는 굉장히 승부를 노려볼 수 있을 거라고 생각하기 때문에 만족스럽습니다.
알겠습니다. 혹시 이제 마지막
There are really good 1v1 specialists, 1v1 players in basically in every single team. So it's going to be hard. And one final question to Pierre Mekki is that which side do you actually want to go into, Ponos side or game with?
どちらも本当メリットデメリットあると思うんですけど、個人的には
2番に行きたいと思ってます。
I think he's a game with.
좀 쉬워 보이나
그러니까
보는데요.
다 2번을 고르고 계세요 지금.
네.
알겠습니다. 자 고생하신 피라미키 선수 자리로 모시겠습니다.
You don't know
박수
because
한번 주세요.
Sandbox
고맙습니다.
may actually just choose
이제 두 팀
Who knows?
남았거든요.
OGN.
샌드박스하고
And
탈론인데 탈론은
Kicks also pretty strong.
킹존 그렇죠. 드래곤엑스
드래곤엑스.
그렇죠. 드래곤엑스하고 얘기를 좀 나눠봐야
Certainly there are few things that we do want to We do want to see. Sandbox does have the final choice. Talon, they don't get to choose.
Nope.
But Sandbox, they're down to only 2 teams. They have limited amount of choices, even though they can sort of pick. I don't think Talon minds too much because OG and Entus Kicks both pretty strong teams.
Exactly. But now we're gonna have an interview here from Dragon X. And the question was, are you satisfied with your group that you were chosen into? And Nuri gave a very short answer. Yes.
And Nuri also had a really big sweep.
Oh yeah.
In
so
King
many.
of the Hill.
복수랑 데토네이션 저희가 저번 시즌 다 졌기 때문에 이를 갈고 나와서 복수를 한번 하고 싶습니다.
All right. So how did you do against the teams that you're grouped up with? And Nuri saying that Dragon X, to be honest, lost to Chaos Theory and Detonation. So now that they're in the same group, they want to get their revenge.
They had great moments. But the teams that they're with right now, they actually did lose.
Yeah.
So that's something that they do have to think about when they're taking the revenge. And they don't really care which group they go into. Either Ponos game with doesn't really matter.
크게는 없는데 저희를 원하는 팀에 가고 싶습니다.
원하는 팀.
원하는 팀.
So they asked the same usual question. Do you want to go to Ponos' line or Game With's line? And usually the players they choose, but Nuri was saying that if they choose us, if they have a choice of choosing us, we'll just go there. Basically meaning that they don't mind which line they go to.
라인 선수에 대한 그 팬들의 기대치가 굉장히 컸거든요. 왜 하필 지금 나왔냐 이런 얘기를
Yeah,
했기 때문에
exactly as what Yungela is saying. Line is a strong 1v1 player. But without the ban card, it might not be the same. So we'll have to see.
자리를 저희 또 부족한 자리를 다 채워줬기 때문에 이번 시즌에는 또 이렇게 처음부터 합류를 하기 때문에 아마 좋은
So it seems like Nuri is really relying on what Line is able to do. As Line came in the middle of the season, that's why they were not able to go up really high on the standings.
전반적으로 저희 마무리가 다 아쉬워서 많이 패배를 하게 되었는데 이번에는 그런
So last season, you guys weren't able to kind of give that finishing punch. So has anything changed?
승승장구까지 나왔어요. 알겠습니다.
So yeah, we know that, and we've prepped a lot and practiced a lot for that. So this season, I think we're gonna be doing a lot better compared to season 1.
파이널 진출이기 때문에 그걸 토대로 끊임없이 노력하고 발전하겠습니다.
Our goal is to go to the World Finals at the end of the year, and until that moment, we will grind ourselves really hard so we can actually get there.
일찍 뽑혔으면 나와서 같이 먹여주고 했을 텐데 나중에 뽑히면 이거 어쩔 수 없어요. 잊혀질 수밖에 없습니다.
Yeah, this is a fun group nomination so far. As Dragon X getting in. They do have a really big roster. July, Alpha, and also Nuri for that 2v2. Pretty strong. True fast line going back and forth on that 1v1. I can see them going up really high in the standings.
Yep. All right. Well, as you guys know, the drill. We have Sato and Ito from Sandbox.
선수보다 코치가 좀 나을 것 같습니까?
제가 작년에도
Ito.
코치였다가 둘 다 해봤는데 저는 코치가 좀 더 편한 것 같긴 해요.
Now is the coach, and Connie is back as a player. But Ito does feel that he's
그때 일단 멘탈이 나가고요.
much easier being a coach instead of a player.
이번 시즌에는 그러면
As if I was a player playing on the stage, when I lose, I basically lose my mind sometimes. My mentality just evaporates away.
좋은 성적을 내기 위해 새로운 외국 선수도 들여왔고 그리고 비시즌 동안 되게 열심히 연습했기 때문에
Alright, so
확실히 좋은 성적이 나올 것 같아요.
So we got a new player. Ice Law is in our squad. And we practiced really hard. So I think we'll have an okay result. I'm expecting a lot. And first of all, Ice Law is really handsome. He's good looking.
그리고 되게 장난기가 많고
And he's full of jokes.
되게 그 이기려는
Fools around all the time. But at the same time, he has a desire to win.
That's the best that you can get from a player who is able to joke around but gets serious when he wants to win. And we'll see. Maybe Sandbox might have changed just because with a couple of players just changing.
그래요. 그럼 피해가고 싶은 팀은 어떤 팀이었습니까?
So there is a team that we want to avoid.
킥스는 좀
옆에 사도가 침 뱉으면서 웃었거든요. 사도한테 그 마이크 좀 넘겨주시고.
Oh well, Ido is saying that Kix is
왜 웃었죠? 지금?
지금 남은 두 팀인 중에 킥스를 제외하면은 오진밖에 안 남아서 그래가지고 너무 당연해진 거라.
우리 코치
So
너무
it's
단순해.
easy. It's an easy decision, simple decision to make because other than Kix, there's only one team.
Yeah.
And that's OGN. So many teams actually avoiding Kix.
Yeah, that is true.
IMJP and Pedro, they're really well known. They're really well known. Spain, Venezuela. Of course, there's language barrier, but if you just leave that player to do whatever he wants to do on that 1v1, you don't even need to communicate if the player's so good.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens when you're so good. You automatically know, and they can just automatically adapt when you're playing 2v2s. Obviously, 1v1, they'll just blast the opponent away.
Yeah, I think we know. We basically know what the decision is going to be. I already wrote down the team name here.
I'm doing the same thing.
Yes, there's no other way. It is OGN Entus.
Yes!
So, two Korean teams. And... Wait. So it will be... Because we have the Dragon X and OPGG in 3 and 4, it will be... At least one group will have 3 Korean teams.
Ooh, that is...
So for the region, they do have to fight against each other a few more times.
Yeah.
Of course, they're different teams, so it doesn't really matter. But as a region, they might have less at the end, making it into the playoff.
That is true. So we'll have to see which group will have 3 Korean teams.
Saying, are you okay on stage, Sado? Or do you not get nervous anymore? Okay, I'm okay with stage frights. I think I got used to it. And this season, I won't be as nervous for sure. Sandbox having a big change with Ido and Connie.
Yep.
I wonder how well Connie will actually. I'm guessing Ido will be the main head coach.
Yeah.
Connie will be like a playing coach on the stage along with the player. They got Ice Law, they got Sado Greed, Shinchu. As a big roster, not bad. Not bad. The reason why Sandbox was chosen early was, I think, because they seem weak, but if you open their box, I don't think they will be weak anymore.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So I'm so excited just looking at this group's draw. I want to see games, but unfortunately we have to wait another week. But how do you feel about being picked?
TNT.
He does not know how he feels.
TNT. One of the strongest 1v1 player with characteristics. Solo carried OGN into some kind of result. Without him, it could have been worse.
Alright, so basically they were talking about how TNT, even though he is good and he did play well, he didn't do as well as his name value. So how do you feel about going into this new season? And TNT was like, I'm gonna prep like crazy so you guys don't have to worry.
And doesn't really mind. Yeah, doesn't really mind any teams coming along into their group. I mean, OGN is stuck in Group B along with Game and Sandbox. It might be the Chaos Squad with Destination Dragon X, or it might be the Brainy Sports squad with Fav and OPGG Sports.
더 잘해볼게요.
As TNT is just going to keep it short and just saying, I'll just try harder. And that's his words.
코치님들은 막 다 웃는데 하울 코치님만 쟤는 원래 저래 약간 그런 표정이세요. 저는 개인적으로 그래서 하울 코치님이 꼭 올라오셔서 같이 인터뷰를 좀 하셨으면 좋았을 텐데
And
지금
OGN,
인터뷰할 수 있는 기회가 없어가지고
another team with basically no change.
Yeah.
Hal is the coach. It's also the same, basically. So no further changes for OGN. Entus, they were thinking about picking a few more, I believe. But didn't really happen.
And you guys can see the coach of OGN coming up, Hal. He wasn't supposed to be up here on stage, but the Korean casters decided, all right, we had enough coming out of TNT, so now we're going to interview Hal for a more detailed interview.
And we also have some time.
Yeah.
컨디션도 그렇고 조금 대회 경험이 많이 없었다 보니까 그게 좀
Yeah, last season I think our players did not really have the most amount of experience on stage, and also could not really focus. I think that was the reason why we did not do so well last season. But this season we'll show you what happens during season 2.
굉장히 짧았습니다.
어떻게 그러면 나머지 선수들 TNT 그다음에 원크라운, 썬더, 그다음에 단델리온
This is gonna be crazy.
변화는 없거든요.
And you guys have to keep in mind that this isn't the end. We were talking about how now we're gonna mix or put the third column and the fourth column into either column 1 or 2. So we still have that draw left. So don't go anywhere.
서로 얘기가 다르네요.
그래도 선수로 적은 계속
2v2 was your weakness as a team. And he's not really looking to win every single game. That's a different opinion from the players. But certainly will be a better season for the entire team. And really having lots of pressure and lots of expectation for Victor.
또 나올 것 같아요.
So they're talking about how Victor played a lot of Golem decks.
Yeah, just one match, the entire match, with 3 in a row, and few more. Victor played a lot of Golems. Yeah, from the amount of games he played, yes.
Yeah.
And Golems are still pretty strong, especially with that Inferno Tower getting nerfed.
4번 팀이
왜 이유가 있을까요?
Ooh, so they're asking him which do you want the third column or the fourth column, or Chaos Theory column or Brand Esports, and he chose the fourth column. And the reason is he wanted to avoid line from Dragon X. That's why he chose, or he wants Brand's column to come to his column.
Yeah, not just once. You have to think about going against a specific person, team, player twice. Maybe twice in a row. Might be a different player from the same team. But you do have to think twice before you make the decision.
Yeah.
You can't choose where you're going to go, of course.
할까봐 제가 좀 배려를 했습니다. 자 이제 킥스만 남아 있죠. 킥스의 마룬틴 선수가 남아 있는데 마룬틴 선수 마이크
Alright, so Kicks automatically goes into Ponos and Talon's column. They're gonna probably just go straight into the interview.
무조건 좋은 거예요.
좋은 거죠.
네, 이거는 인정을 받았기 때문에 피하고 싶다라는 의미이기 때문에요.
As we do have Malentin. Actually, we do have the entire squad of Kicks sitting, not on stage. Malentin's the only one on stage.
Last from the draw, it means that the other teams are very aware of your team. Would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, makes so much sense because I'm still here. They should fear me.
Whoa!
Two strongest player, JP and Petro. Yeah, they are so scared. I feel it.
네, 아주 당연한
Oh,
합니다.
yes. JP and especially Pedro.
Yep.
They're both really strong. Yes.
많은 팀들이 저희를
I don't know what Valentin's talking about. No, he's also really good as he holds the team together as well. Legend also had his weak moments at the beginning of last season, but he did come back with lots of RG decks at the end of season 1.
Your 2 new players to the fans.
We got include
Oh, it's
two
laughing.
new players from Spanish. Is I'm JP and Pedro. They are so strong player in our team, and we got Legend and Onion. So that's why we won't get picked, and we are the last pick.
That he speaks the truth.
Yes. JP from Spain, Pedro from Venezuela. Both really strong player. I mean, these two, I think, will make some different plays. At least having two real strong 1v1 players is going to help out so much, not just for 1v1 series. King of the Hill seems one of the strongest for kicks. They have so many 1v1 possibilities. Like, just think about Legend JP Pedro.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to be a hard one to win against kicks if you go to King of Hills.
Yeah, they could basically choose who goes out depending on what kind of 1v1 player comes out. They have so many different kinds of choices, so that's gonna be, I think, one of the strongest points for Team Kicks.
So basically, I'm gonna go for 1v1, and all other 4 players gonna go for 2v2. So you guys better watch me out.
Ooh. Now he's just lying straight up into our faces. He's saying he's gonna go 1v1.
Maybe he's right. Maybe he's actually certainly right, because it can actually be
It's not impossible.
It's Pedro JP who speaks the same language. Of course, Onion Legend, those two players are from Vietnam.
Yep.
So they can actually have 2 duos of separate, depending on the strategy, depending on a certain matchup that they can actually have. He might not be lying just by seeing the roster, just by looking at the language and how they know each other. Possibilities are thrown by Valentin here. Even though I think you're also right. Yeah,
it's a trick to fool the other teams, or what you said about you playing 1v1 because you were so good at 2v2 last season.
Yeah, with the Steel
Compared to
Stitch.
the first season I played, last season is not so good for the 2v2 result. So this season I decide go for 1v1 carry the whole team to the finals.
지난 시즌 제가 2대2 경기에서
That's why he got married, man.
Yeah. That
That's why I'm not
confidence.
getting married.
You and I both. You and I both.
Oh
But
man.
wow, Valentin, that confidence. Now I might just have to agree with you. Maybe it is true. I shouldn't have called him out for being a liar because, you know, I thought of him as the duo, right? The 2v2er. But, oh my goodness.
I mean, he was also coaching for WCG, and he's got talent.
Yeah.
He can be the captain of the team. And this squad is scary in 2v2 and 1v1. So you do have to think about it.
Yeah.
Kicks, I think, maybe the strongest out of Southeast Asia. Personal opinion.
Yep.
It looks pretty scary with 2 new
the draw
members.
Of Kicks being in the same group as Team Ponos and Talon this season.
I would say I don't want the same team Ponos again, but the result is, and I was pretty happy with same team with Talon because we are quite friends. We know each other very well, so I think we're gonna destroy them.
What?
Yeah, you heard what he said.
You know them we're really good friends, and we know them really well to each other. So you're going to destroy them? Okay. Okay, makes sense in another way.
Yeah.
Makes sense in another way. So depending on which.
Basically, translation is we know them so well that we can beat them. Right?
So depending on which side. So because Talon and Kicks, they're also stuck together. Southeast Asia will have 3 Group A and B, 3 teams and 1 team. Same with Korea. It's just Japan split 2-2.
That is true.
Pardon me?
Would you like to share your goals and resolutions for season 2?
Oh, for season 2, I think we go for I hope this season we go for 10-0 and go to Royale finals. We are Kicks, vamos.
Oh, vamos. He's got Spanish built in already. I mean, that's kicking in.
알겠습니다. 꼭 그렇게 되시기를 바라겠습니다. 자, 말티 선수.
All right, well,
Okay, hermanos, you got it. Let's see if you can do 10-0. That's what he said.
약간 오늘 좀 뭐
Malatin with the crazy confidence coming out. I think he's the only one that was just calling out everything, saying that, you know, we can do this, we can do that, we're going to do this. And he basically revealed his team strat.
Getting it ready.
Yeah.
That's the result from the picks from the team, all the nominated teams. So take 2 fingers on 3 and 4 and then drag it under either 1 or 2. So that's how it's going to go, because a single group will have 6 teams, which means we're going to have lots of matches, and they're stuck there again. They don't get to fight the other side of the group. So this one matters a lot. Let's see who is going to pick it and what the final result is going to be. Because depending on this result, how the group is going to be shifted. Ooh. Like a lot more Southeast Asia might be going against each other. A lot more Korean teams might be going against each other.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the outcome is. We will have the selection that we were talking about just now very soon. You guys saw the stage that changed up a little bit. But before we get into that, now that all the the seedings of the basic groups are chosen, they have to basically play in that one group for the double round robins, right? And we were talking to the players, and they were kind of in a way happy, because now they can scrim against the opposite groups and show them and actually practice and don't hide anything, because they won't face them until the playoffs.
Yes, that is one thing.
Yeah,
that is certainly one thing. And okay, we do have KK and Mikamboya coming on stage. I believe they will be the ones selecting the number and the group.
팀원들이 X 막 하고 그러는데 뭘 뽑지 말라는 건가요?
Alright, so just to roughly explain, for example, Mikambuya will pick a number. And
3 or 4.
Yeah, KK will pick an alphabet, A or B. And then they will both combine that, and then that number will go into that group. So it will be total random. There won't be any, alright, so we're going to get this team. There's no individual picks going on here. So we're basically done and through with the picking.
4번일지 미칸보야 뽑아주십시오.
Yep. And Mikamboya gets to pick the number.
Okay.
KK is going to pick the group, A or B.
Alright, so gonna open the capsule.
Drum roll, guys.
Drum roll.
It's time. Oh,
okay.
For Branny Sports FOB OPGG.
So we don't know. So now we're gonna know and figure out where Branny Sports FOB and OP will go, depending on what KK picks out.
Yeah, the important part is what KK does.
Exactly.
Not much for Mikamboya. Of course, he does have put in some work here, but KK is the one that decides everything. KK.
Oh, where are they gonna go?
A or B,
Group
1 or 2. Group
B.
So, game with Sandbox OGN.
Yeah.
Branny Sports FOB OPGG. All together. There's 2 and 4 together, 1 and 3 together. So, group.
Wow.
Hey, I like Group A. I really like Group A.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, Ponos, they wanted column 4 on their side. But KK basically messed everything up by putting column 4 into their group.
미칸보야 선수가 잘못 이해를 한 것 같아요. 뽑으면은 자기 그룹인 줄 알았던
그게 아니었어요. 저도 처음에는
Yeah.
그렇게 이해를 했었거든요.
So, the Korean casters, they're talking about how Mikamboya might have misunderstood. But either way, Ponos, they wanted Brandy Sports 5 Gaming and OP Gaming, but they didn't get them.
So it's already done. I mean, they can pick the other one.
Yeah.
Pick the other number and other group. I mean, so look at the squad of
They're all
Ponos.
surprised.
KK 선수 마이크 잠깐만 들어주세요.
And Mikamboya is in awe. He's like, what just happened?
Yeah,
look at
Group
it, look at
A.
it. He's confused.
Group A looks
so strong.
I mean, Group B also have talents and characteristics. And KK is really, really extremely happy about the final result. But Mikamboya is
look at him.
not
Yeah.
too
He's like,
much.
what happened?
Not
Is this a
happy at
dream?
all.
제대로 다 이해를 못한 것 같아요. 지금 결과가 어떻습니까?
4番を選んだ時喜んでいらっしゃったんですけれども少しルールの理解がちょっと足りなかった気もしますが今この組み合
I'm
わせ
so
って
curious. I think he was slightly confused about the rules.
正直全部勝てば一緒なんでどうでもいいっす。
다 이겨버리면 결과는 똑같기 때문에
Ooh, all right.
그렇죠.
So if we beat everyone, the result will be the same. So it doesn't really matter.
선수들도 다 몸짓으로 다 얘기를 했기 때문에 저희가 충분히 이해할 수 있었어요.
It's what Pono said, but
이렇게
Group A,
미칸보야 KK
let's read again.
자리로 모시겠습니다. 고맙습니다.
Ponos,
이렇게 최종 조가
Ponos kicks Chaos. They're really strong, and also Dragon X is also another really strong.
Yeah.
So this is how much focused we are on Group A,
Yeah.
because they got, I believe, stronger 4 teams out of the 6 in Group A. Group B, I would say they're in the middle ground, so we don't actually know. GameWiz certainly is a team that might just come out. They have the highest chance of getting out from the Group B. But Group A has a lot more packed team of roster, is what I want to say here.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, just for checking.
I'm just checking through, how many or what kind of roster changes that each team's had, and yeah, Group A definitely. I'm not gonna say they're weaker or they're even with Group B. I think personally, at least, Group A seems a little bit stronger. However, Group B, we have a lot of teams that had the roster changes, so that's also going to be strong. And we have on your screen Caster O proving that there were indeed
there were two
numbers
balls.
and both alphabets.
Yeah, 2 balls in the box.
That doesn't sound right, but 2 balls
in
both boxes.
Yes, don't make it awkward ending. Well,
But
the
anyways,
result is here. And we do have a lot of same teams from last season and the previous season actually fighting against each other because we don't really have team changes too much. But with this many roster changes and power changes, I believe it might have some different names going into the playoff and maybe into the finals. Like Kicks did not really go up all the way into the finals last season, but this season they look totally different with the new rosters kicking in. A similar story for Sandbox, but in a different way.
Yeah, and I'm just actually looking through, and in Group B, actually, we have only 2 teams out of the 6 that had roster changes, and 4 teams game with OGN, FAV, and OP. They're all the same roster. No new players, no big changes, no swaps. They're all the same previously from Season 1. Whereas Group A, just strong in itself, we had a lot of roster changes as well, especially just 3 just from talent. So I think Group A might just show some twists.
Yeah, today's the day where you just have to go back and think, okay, so we can actually focus on 5 other teams, specifically the matchup. And talking about matchup, Ponos versus Chaos Theory, the opening match. Opening match number 1.
Is it not the finals?
And
really?
not just once. Throughout the season, you get to see this matchup once again.
Yeah.
So that's another exciting part about the season. It's different, but the opening match is
I'm just looking. I'm like,
dude, I would rather eat like the spiciest food on planet than to just go against this strong of an opponent in match number 1 of the season.
And this is gonna just kick it off, make everything just forcefully exciting because it is Ponos versus Chaos Theory. But personally, I know match 1 is super exciting just looking at the team names, but I'm so curious about how Talon will perform.
Talon will get some new kicks in, and Kicks versus Dragon X, that's another one that we really want to highlight from match number 1. It will be exciting. We're on some different patches, balance patch happening, balance changes happening every single month, and in just a few weeks we'll have another one for September. Oh wait, is it September? Yes, soon it will be September.
Yeah, it's not September
I
yet.
don't know
Yeah, it's not September yet.
I don't know anymore.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
July when I went to WCG, and now it's August already, and time's flying by so fast.
It is flying. So, all the patches coming through. And, the two things that I want to focus on is Talon with the 3-man roster change. And then the second one is, whatchamacallit, the set 2 and set 3 having no bans. So that 1v1 is going to be crisp and exciting.
Yes, so yeah, that's going to be the big change as Benzer, who was actually sniped on Motor and also Hog Rider a few times, no problem.
Yeah.
So you just have to basically bring a deck that would rather 100% counter or bring your best.
Yeah.
I think that might be the same. A lot of what Clash Royale League West actually had last season. You have your signature deck. If it works for every single thing, if you play that single deck so many times, you know exactly what to do against every single deck, basically. If you know that, if you're good at it, you can just do that all the time. And if you're that good of a player, you can actually win, even if you're against a lot of counters.
Yeah, but the thing is, when there's a huge counter, it's going to be hard even for Benzer. We'll have to see that on the 22nd.
Season number 2 is coming next week, guys. Just in few days. We'll be back with new rules, lots of changes, and you know what the opening match is going to be. And see you guys in 4 days with Clash Royale League Asia.